so much experience. That man, he could get through anything. You know, as long as they have the right plan, whatever they do, man, they have that.
This guy is everything I would want to be, you know, as a career, as a fighter, because he did everything, like, you know, with such grace, and he did, you know, put up spectacular.
He was once one of the most feared and respected fighters of his era, and decades later, Manny Pacquiao remains a living legend. Even today's elite boxers, many of whom grew up watching him, speak of Pacquiao with nothing but reverence. What exactly makes Pac-Man so extraordinary? What is it about this 8-division world champion that continues to astonish, and intimidate the best fighters in the world? Now, with the shocking announcement of his return to the ring to challenge Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title, Pacquiao has sent a jolt through the boxing world. The entire active roster has taken notice, and they're not holding back on what makes this old-school warrior so special. So here's what today's top fighters are saying about Manny Pacquiao, why he may just be the last true unicorn in the sport of boxing. When news broke that Manny Pacquiao was coming out of retirement to face Mario Barrios, social media exploded. Fans debated whether Pac-Man still had it, and current top fighters were quick to react. Surprisingly, most didn't hold back there. Admiration, one of the first to weigh in, none other than Terrence Crawford. And Crawford isn't exactly known for handing out compliments. He's one of the most dominant pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. He always keeps it real. So when he gave Manny his flowers, people paid attention.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. You know, if he get in there and win, then...
Crawford openly called Pacquiao an all-time great and said that even at 46 years old, he wouldn't count him out. That's a big statement coming from someone who usually critiques rather than praises. But it shows just how much respect Manny has earned, not just from fans or media, but from the very best in the game today.
I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
And Crawford wasn't alone. George Kambosos Jr. was another big name who reacted immediately after the announcement. The former unified lightweight champion who held the WBA, IBF, WBO, and the ring titles has always shared a special connection with Pacquiao. Their styles.
Surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything. And you know.
Kambosos, whose heritage traces back to Sparta, the land of warriors, knows what it means to fight with heart. And in his words, when Manny Pacquiao sets a goal, he doesn't stop until he
try his best. That's what Manny, one thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So
he praised Pac-Man's legendary dedication and said, Manny still has what it takes to become...
Manny, I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend, and he turns it on.
In fact, this wasn't the first time Kambosos had high praise for the Filipino icon. On a previous appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast, he described Manny as 1 in a billion, even going so far as to say that nobody would ever break his record of becoming an 8-division world champion. It's a feat that remains unmatched.
To have an opportunity like that to spar 250 rounds with one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he won world titles in what, 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or 14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and you know, I want to break records. That man is a one of one.
Another reaction came from one of boxing's more colorful personalities, Rolly Romero.
Another reaction came from one of boxing's more colorful personalities, Rolando "Rolly" Romero, known for his brash confidence and recent high-profile win over Ryan Garcia. Rolly had a hilarious take on Pacquiao's Hall of Fame induction. According to him, Manny should have been inducted years ago, and the fact that it didn't happen sooner was borderline disrespectful. You know it's serious when even Rolly's sarcasm is laced with real admiration.
Manny Pacquiao, he's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's an inductee.
Wait, he isn't inducted yet?
Not yet. He's an inductee.
Wait. Wait. So Manny Pacquiao is not inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Not yet. What does he mean to the sport of boxing?
No, wait. Y'all just got me fucked up. Wait. The one
in Canastota.
The one 8th division champion, not inducted to the Hall of Fame. So, well, I mean, obviously now he's about to be.
Speaking of Ryan Garcia, his words were more heartfelt than humorous. Ryan has never hidden his admiration for Pacquiao. In fact, he's openly called Manny his idol, saying Pacquiao is everything I ever wanted to be. It for Garcia. It wasn't just about boxing, it was about who Manny is as a human being.
That's one of my idols. Like, I really look up to Pacquiao. Like, people don't know, but like, he's one of the people I look at. I'm like, man, like, this guy is everything I would want to be, you know, as a...
Garcia talked about the legendary Filipinos' community efforts, his generosity, and how he's inspired him not only in the ring but in life. Helped so many people, Garcia said, and that's what I want to do too. For someone as media savvy as Garcia, that kind of respect goes a long way. It shows that Manny's in
the fighter because he did everything, like, you know, with such grace, and he did, you know, put up spectacular fights. He helped out his community. I'm trying to do things similar like that, but me, I'm more of I want to give back to, you know, like the younger generation. I want to.
Then there's Devin Haney, the slick two-division champion known for his technical brilliance and composure inside the ring. Haney didn't hesitate to call Manny Pacquiao a legend either. He emphasized that age shouldn't fool people. Manny's skills, timing, and mindset are still dangerous. According to Haney, people underestimate him because he's older. But that's the wrong way to measure someone like Pacquiao. And that's the recurring theme in all these reactions. Pacquiao is more than just a former champ. He's a force of nature, a fighter whose legacy is so deeply rooted in the sport that Evan in his mid-40s stepping into the ring again doesn't seem like a gift.
I think Pacquiao is a legend. I think that he's a real good fighter, and I think that people underestimate his skills because he's older or he lost to Floyd. But I still think that he has a lot in store, and I think that he could beat a lot of the top guys here. So
whether or not Pacquiao can actually defeat a much younger Mario Barrios remains to be seen. But one thing is crystal clear: the current generation of boxers still holds him in the highest regard. And they're not just being polite. These are fighters who studied him, who grew up watching him, and in some cases were directly mentored or inspired by him. Manny Pacquiao isn't just coming back to fight, he's coming back to remind the world why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And based on the respect pouring in from today's champions, it's safe to say the boxing world is watching closely. Even Gervonta Tank Davis, famously known for his trash talk and brash personality, had nothing but respect when it came to Manny Pacquiao. Now that says a lot. Trash talk is practically part of Tank's DNA. He doesn't hold back when it comes to opponents. But when the Filipino legend visited him before one of his fights, Davis made it clear. Manny's a cool guy, just genuine, respectful.
So really quick, tell me about Manny Pacquiao coming to visit you. He flew all the way from the Philippines to watch you fight. It's like an 18-hour flight.
That was dope.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Did he give you any advice or tips?
I don't think he gave me a tip, but it definitely was fire to have him like come
surprise you. And
surprise, bro.
And it's not just Tank. Chris Algeria, former WBO junior, welterweight champion, and former welterweight title challenger, has sung Manny's praises on multiple occasions. Algeria once said without hesitation that Pacquiao hits harder than Errol Spence Jr. Let that sink in. Spence is a big, strong welterweight with a heavy-handed reputation. Yet it was Manny, the smaller man on paper, who left the bigger impression in terms.
I remember when I fought Errol Spence, and he was the first fighter to ever stop me, and everyone was asking, man, I mean, he must hit harder than Pacquiao and Rusan. And I said, no, actually, he doesn't hit harder than either. They both hit harder than him. Well, how did he stop me? I'm like, he hit me with a lot. It wasn't the one punch. It was the number of punches that he landed on me that was able to get me out.
What's Maraldry didn't come into that fight unprepared. In fact, he admitted that leading up to the bout with Pacquiao, he had one of the best training camps of his entire career. He was in peak condition, had all the right tools, and still, it just wasn't enough.
My trajectory was so fast. It was exponential how quickly I got from, literally fighting in my hometown to fighting Manny Pacquiao in Macau. It was such a blur at the time. I was just so focused. I think a couple days ago you said that I was like the nerd in school. Well, I was a nerd in the gym too. I left no stone unturned. I trained so hard. I did everything right. I went to sleep early. All my food was perfect. My training was exceptional. I had all the good sparring partners. I left no stone unturned. And that was the way that I was able to deal with any kind of nerves going into a fight. Homework. I did my homework. So I was prepared. I always knew I was prepared for every fight, even if I didn't know what I needed to happen.
Then there's Vasily Lomachenko, arguably one of the most technically gifted boxers in the world today. Loma's footwork is next level. His speed is dazzling. Some even joke that he sees the world in slow motion because of how smooth and calculated his movements are. So when someone like Lomachenko compliments another fighter's speed and movement, it carries real weight. Loma has said that Pacquiao is fast, strong, and in his own words, a living legend. He even pointed out that Manny still moves the same way he did a decade ago. At an age when most fighters are slowing down,
And big pleasure fight with legend, you know. Very strong. He's very, very fast. And he's still Manny Pacquiao. Looks like
Errol Spence Jr. himself, who was scheduled to fight. Pacquiao, before an eye injury, forced him to withdraw, so showed nothing but respect. Spence recognized the legacy Manny carries. And even though the fight didn't happen, it was clear that just sharing the ring with
what can I say about future Hall of Famer, legend, sport?
Only 8 division champion in boxing, and still a champion at the highest level.
Let's not forget Teofimo Lopez, a 2 division world champion with plenty of star power himself. He highlighted Pacquiao's experience as one of his greatest weapons. According to Lopez, if Manny has the right game plan, he can beat anyone. It's not just about speed or power, it's about IQ, ringcraft, and the unshakable confidence.
Manny has so much experience. That man, he could get through anything. You know, as long as they have the right plan, whatever they do, man, they have that. They'll be able to do all that.
All these fighters, past and present, young and seasoned, agree on one thing: Manny Pacquiao is a rare breed. He's not just a legend because of what he's done, but because of how he carries himself in and out of the ring. Respect after. All is earned. And Manny has earned it from the best. But what about you, fight fans? Where do you rank Manny Pacquiao among the all-time greats? Do you think he has a real chance at becoming world champion at 46? Let us know in the comments.